So over here behind me is my bead roller, and I will show you guys what I did with that. You'll get to see how that works, and I just kind of got back into it. So yeah, it's not perfect, doesn't have to be. Lighting's not perfect, doesn't have to be. Camera work, not great. You get it. Not perfect, doesn't have to be. So, panel is made, and it's not cardboard. I still have to mount the tabs in the back and then drill holes and figure out how to set up all the Zeus's. I think I need more noise. More noise is definitely good. More noise. So got a few things done today. Threw together a press that I bought so that I can start pressing out bearings and things. There's a lot of noise going down the road. I don't know if you noticed. But created a panel, transferred it from cardboard to aluminum, trimmed it up, sanded it, created a bead roll for it, and set up the bead roller so you can see how it all went down, and you know what that is. Still have to do Zeus's and things like that, but for today, I'm done with this. Anyway, oh also yeah, going to a point doesn't always work. Actually never works because you run over your own bead, so you have to have it rounded. I go into that. Check out the video. Hopefully you learned something, or if nothing else, just it's entertaining. I don't know. Alright, so I have the piece cut, as you saw on the time lapse, and now I tested the bead roll. It works, but what I definitely don't want to do is, I'm not sure if you see it in the time lapse, but I did curves and then I tried to go straight in like that, and because I'm running over the other bead, it just doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to add a bead roll for strength, but I just was testing some stuff out. I definitely don't want to go to a point, so I want to have it rounded. The other thing I'm doing here is, these are the ends of the Zeus tabs that will be holding this in. I'm just laying these out because I want to make sure that wherever these are going to go, the piece is flat, because I'm not going to drill in and put a Zeus fastener on a bead. That's going to be awful. So this is just to give me spacing so I have an idea. And as long as I come in at least 2 inches, a little bit over 2 inches, so I'm going to go 2.5 inches from the outside edges, and that's going to be my lines for the bead. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that out. Now that I know that from putting these out there, I was also trying to figure out how I'd space those in general, separate than the bead roll. And I'm just going to use this level. Smaller one's easier. I'm just going to measure my 2.5. I'm going to set this at 2.5. And come in. That's going to give me my spacing. So I'm going to go there, there. Okay. So there's going to be that. Okay. Just like that. Looks about. Right, this is a little crooked. The outside line, I'm going to go ahead and trim that. I oversize this a little bit because when you do the bead, it actually shrinks the metal a little bit, and I don't know how much it's going to, so I have about a 1/4 inch around the outside, and then I'm going to be grinding the edges just to clean them up and everything, so it's not perfectly straight, but this line will be straight. Go ahead and draw this one. Okay. There's a clear plastic on top of this aluminum, so I'm drawing these lines on the actual clear plastic. And when you're done bead rolling, we'll peel off that plastic. I'm just going to do the same thing all the way around. Now just give me my intersect points. Okay. Can't see the whole thing, but so you can see that 2.5 spacing on the outside. Again, I'll clean up these outside lines. So this is going to be my turn, basically. Actually, let me get. Let's just use a roll of tape. That'll be a pretty big turn. Might want to go smaller than that, but I'll throw that in there for right now. It's going to be pretty big up here, so I'm going to. Yeah. It's a little too big. Again, just marking on this clear plastic, which is easy to erase your marks. I just grab those the closest. That's too big of a radius. So I'm going to find a smaller radius. Actually, a socket would be a good one. Socket. like that. Just a 1-inch socket. It's basically a guide. It's not going to be perfect, but now I'm going to go over to the bead roller and see if I can actually bead roll this. All right, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Center on the line. Just kind of keep going until good. Put this down so I can do the same depth if this is what I want. Next time I just go down to that and I'll be good. All right, here we go. Is a little touchy. Touchy paddle. It is touchy. Well, I thought I did way worse, but not perfect. But you can see the bead. A little crooked there. Okay. But see how much stiffer this thing is? Like this side, look at how flimsy it is out there. And in here, not so much. So that gives the panel a lot of strength. You can also see that it's kind of warped, but you can straighten that out pretty easily. So now, because you have that bead in there to give it strength, when you bend it into shape, it will keep it. Stiffened up panel, and now I'm gonna see how much it shrunk. So we're gonna compare that and then see if it fits. So this is like a 1/4 inch before. Definitely shrunk it. Probably half of that, 1/8 of an inch. And then I left a lot at the top here. I really oversized this. I was afraid of having it be too small. So very large at the top, no problem there. I can trim that to fit, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough space. So it looks like 1/4 is probably a little too much to give it for that bead roll, for that depth and everything. But I don't know. We'll see, because I know this piece was a little bit narrow. This thing's a little bit big. Either round the bottom, trim the bottom, or trim the top. I'll figure it out, but let's see if it fits and what I got to do from there. But definitely wanted to do it a little bit big. This is a trial run for me. I have not used that bead roller to do this exact thing. I don't think ever. You know, I've had it, I've played with it a little bit, but I've never actually made a full piece, had the thing for a long time, and then put everything aside for when I had the kids, and just haven't done anything for a long time. So I don't know, for the first time I think it's alright, and maybe this piece will actually be able to be used. We'll see. If not, it was my test piece anyway, so that would be a bonus, but we'll see. Alright, stay tuned. Just about right. No, it's not. Alright, so I gotta trim just a little bit around the outside. Be very careful, but just kind of take a little bit off all the way around there. And then I'll figure out what to do at the bottom. It might just fall in there actually. This has got to go down quite a bit. Quite a bit. I knew the top was long, so I can take top, sides, and just kind of see where I'm at. All right. So I'm actually going to put just this level. What's the width of this level? It's a little over 2 inches. This is 2 1/8. So I'm just going to take the width of the level with the bead as a guide. Now, and see what I got here. Just a little bit off of that side. It's quite a bit off of this side. Okay. It's my 1/8 inch on that side. I have no idea if this will work or not. Again, this is my test piece, so I'm not really... If I can get it to work, it's a bonus. There are definitely other more scientific ways to do this, for sure. However... see. Definitely helped a lot. It's pretty good at that time. That's still a little bit wonky. There it kind of goes in at the top. I don't know if I care. Mostly, I'm going to clean that side up a little bit. But, I kind of like how that fits. This side is just ends in, so I need to straighten this side up. And I think that might do it. I'm going to round the bottom because I don't really, that's hitting on that. So I'll round the bottom a little bit here. And I'll round the edge here. I'm going to clean that side up. Alright. Just do a 1/2 inch socket here. round that out. On the sides. Okay. Maybe. So around that. And I'm just going to use the shear. I can clean it up. I was going to grind it, but I'll just do this. That'll get me close quickly. Should have just used hand tools for that. Actually, let me do that the last one, just so I can show you the proper way to probably do this, so we don't mess it all up. Alright, so a lot of that is just putting it at an angle and then softening it up. There's a lot of marks. Hopefully a lot of that's just on the plastic. You know, this is an old sheet of aluminum. But anyway, I can clean it up a little bit better, as you see. First piece. Whatever. Okay, let's see if it works. Firm, which is good. That's what you get from bead rolling. If I do that. Oh my goodness, this is pretty good. I don't know if I can touch that. That actually looks pretty good. Now what I need to do is tape that on there, figure out where I want my mounts to go. Use this as my test piece. So the other, there are multiple things. One, testing the bead roller out, figuring it out. Cutting the piece, figuring out how to transfer the cardboard to this. Also figuring out how much room to give myself for the bead roll, because it'll shrink the metal in, because part of the metal is going up and down. So that's going to bring this in. So I think I have that pretty dialed in, at least good enough for government work, from this, I should say. Now, what I want to do is, now that I have this piece pretty close to what I want, I need to figure out how I'm going to fasten it and where those are going to be, because ultimately most of what I'm doing here is just figuring out what I have to weld to the frame to be able to mount this later. So I'm building this piece, figuring all that stuff out while I'm doing it, and then pretty much going to weld tabs in all the way around, because I want to be able to get this thing painted, because it's surface rusting, and I want to get it painted, because once it's painted, that means we can start putting things back on it. So, but I do want to get as much welding done as possible. I don't want to have to grind off I will have to grind off paint and fix it. That's just the way it's going to be. But I want to minimize that. I want to get as much done and painted in one shot as I can. All right. The other thing is, you see, is these have surface rust. They've been around for a while. So if I get these mounted, get them cleaned up, and we'll get this all painted at one time, including the tabs, which is good. So this is going to go on the inside. much be the bar. Nice. It's pretty much in the middle of the bar. Tack that. This bar here is smaller diameter than this, so I'm trying to figure out how to cheat that, or what I need to do to identify. Do I even care? Do I just do center? Let it sit out. Just go dead center of each bar. It'll lay in a little bit more for these. And it should, because this is in a little bit. Should line up. And if it doesn't, nobody's grading me. Nobody's gonna see this. Whatever, it's fine. Don't thoroughly care. I do care, but I'm not gonna be a perfectionist about it. I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack these in, and I'll put this back up against this as I have them tacked in, and then I'll see where it is. But that is for a different day.